Hi everybody, welcome to Shivers Speaks. Today we are getting honest about fears, about horror, about our feelings in the world. One of the things that I have preached about since I began this channel, this business, is that every single horror genre, every single horror movie can do something for you, has a purpose for you. And I think that has no better of a chance to prove itself than in today's real world. I think each genre really represents something different. And once you figure out what the root of your own personal fears are, you can start watching some of these movies to really work through some of those feelings, those issues, those suppressions even. For example, anybody who's having a hard time right now with the election, with the state of the world that we're in, with the economy, with fears of what's going to happen, you can, in essence, watch something like The Purge to really channel your fears and say, this is truly worst case scenario. Is this actually going to happen? Is this an actual possibility? How do I feel about that? So watching something like that can work through those fears. If you are somebody who is struggling with addiction, struggling with toxic relationships, bad personalities, allowing things into your life that really do not serve you, you can watch something like a vampire movie, which is very reflective of these types of behaviors. Vampires are all about rules. You have to be the one to let them in. You have to be the one to allow them into your life. They are not able to see themselves in mirrors. You're having a hard time looking at yourself in the mirror and facing these decisions that you have made. There are a lot of similarities to addictions, bad relationships, bad traumas to vampires. And so you continue on with this trend with all different genres. And I won't bore you with some of the details because I've talked about this extensively before. But I think when it comes to today's day and age, there's really so many good movies that you can pick from for that. For example, kind of my main point of today, last night watched The Woman of the Hour, which is Anna Kendrick's directorial debut. She's also the producer. She's also the star of this movie. I went into it thinking that it was a horror movie. It is a true crime movie. It is based on a true story. And throughout the movie, not knowing that it was a true story, I have so much anger and also just yelling at the screen and yelling at the TV more than I have for really any other movie as of late. And it's because these are the fears that I face on a regular basis. These are worrying about how I'm going to keep myself safe. You know, I live by myself. I drive by myself. I take care of myself. And what if that was taken away from me? What do I need to fear? What do I need to keep my eyes extra open for? You know, when I lived in Philadelphia, the biggest reason why I never was fully myself there is because I felt as though I couldn't do everything alone. I couldn't do anything alone. Riding the subway at night was so scary, especially by yourself. And that fear is day in and day out for a lot of people. So this movie, again, not knowing that it was true crime, it really just shows how much people put up with, how much women put up with in particular. And you think that you are doing a service by just being kind to people, by allowing people to essentially walk over you for the sake of keeping the peace. And Promising Young Woman shows that kind of similarly, but from the total opposite perspective. This is truly taking fate into your own hands and saying, I'm going to show these people what their actions do and how their actions have consequences. So I'm really enjoying seeing a lot of these similar movies come out. I know I've been an advocate against A24, but Maxine came out a couple of months ago. It's now on HBO Max, and this is the first time that I've watched it. So I watched Pearl, X, and Maxine all back to back, and I really, really love it. I think it is a great story of what we will do for fame, what we will do for attention, what we will do to be seen, and basically who's going to stand in our way, who's going to be the person who takes us off track, and will we give them the power to do so or not? So this reclamation of power, specifically for women, I think in a lot of these horror movies recently have been great fear testers for me. I can only assume for other women who are horror fans as well. And it just continues to play into the fear and honesty of, if we are honest with ourselves of what we are afraid of, what we are afraid of facing, what can we do to change that? What can we do to work through some of that and come out on the other side better and stronger? And you can do that by watching a movie, basically putting yourself in a simulation of these feelings. So even though that times are scary right now, we are in Halloween. There are a plethora of horror movies to choose from, and these horror movies can help you heal, can help you feel less scared during these times. If you need any suggestions on specific actual genres or choices or things that you want to watch, always happy to help. But I just basically wanted to use this week's episode as kind of a reminder that horror movies are more than just horror movies. They are more than just scary stories to tell in the dark. They all do have a purpose, and in these times especially, use them to your advantage. So thank you as always for listening to today's episode of Shivers Speaks. Like I said, if you need any recommendations, I am here, but use the tools that we have and end this Halloween season by learning something about yourself or about film in general. So thanks for listening, and I will see you next time.